Okay. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. A passage from John 14 explains the troubles many people go through daily in just a brief verse. In this world, many people encounter depression, anxiety, trauma, and many other mentally debilitating illnesses. As a nation built on the gospel, it is the leader's job to ensure that their people have access to necessities. It is our responsibility as Christians to spread the word of Jesus Christ and help those who are broken and alone. However, people are limited in this world, and there is an all-powerful, all-loving, all-knowing God to help those he created. It is our job to plant the seed. There are two broad terms of mental illness. The first is any mental illness, known as AMI. The second is serious mental illness, known as SMI. AMI can be defined as, quote, a mental, behavioral, or emotional disorder. AMI can vary in impact, ranging from no impairment, mild, moderate, and even severe impairment. A quote from National Institute of Mental Health can also define SMI as a, quote, mental, behavioral, or emotional disorder resulting in serious functional impairment which substantially interferes with or limits one or more life activities. The burden of mental illness is particularly concentrated among those who experience disability due to SMI, end quote. Although SMI is a more serious condition, both of these diagnoses are extremely important, and many people suffer from either of these illnesses. The mind is the most important part of the body. It contributes to body functions, assists in communication, and is the overall programming of the body. If the body is sick, the mind is sick. This is why mental illness should be cared for as soon as it is diagnosed. From Mental Health America, further improve the spread of mental illness. Considering the entire U.S. population, over 20% of U.S. citizens are diagnosed with AMI. Nearly 5% of U.S. citizens have serious thought or have attempted suicide. Over 50% of the population with AMI did not receive any treatment, and almost 1/3 of adults with mental illness are not able to receive treatment they require due to costs. Not only does mental illness affect adults, but children as well. According to CDC, Center of Disease and Control, one in 5 youth, 13 to 18, are diagnosed with seriously debilitating illness. Another study done by CDC gives the result of main causes of mental illness. Most likely are caused by adverse childhood experiences. 5 main causes from childhood have been discovered with these studies, starting with trauma or abuse, medical conditions, biological or chemical imbalance, use of drugs or alcohol, and feeling of loneliness or isolation. It's bad enough that the American citizens are suffering from their own thoughts. But when the future generations are controlled by some type of mental illness, something has to be done. Solutions require a plan of attack. With such an important problem on the nation's hands, the plan of attack must be efficient and promoted by the U.S. citizens. The first order of business is to spread awareness of the problem through group events, advertising, and communicating with local politicians. As quickly as possible, these actions will shine the light on the problem to any national congressional representative. When this happens, the plan to present a bill needs to be discussed. The bill that will be presented will state that every school in the United States will be provided with free therapy sessions. These sessions are not required to attend, but are ensured to give a complete psychological evaluation and assistance. The therapy sessions can also provide Christ-based assistance in hopes to bring the youth closer to Jesus Christ as he intended it. Each session will be paid for through taxes and funds from U.S. citizens. Each child will have the option to choose either secular counseling or pastoral counseling. To ensure that the law presented will be effective, an annual poll will be given to each child who received therapy. The poll will contain a series of questions, each relate to their circumstance, mental health deterioration or progress, and their physical health. The polls will be counted by each therapist assigned to a school. The polls will be given to the client on paper and will then be filed into a computer and sent to the Department of Education and/or the Department of Health and Human Services. With this evaluation, progress will be accurately monitored. In this system, it is extremely important that each child has the option to receive either secular counseling or pastoral counseling. The basis of this plan is not to just solely help one certain group of people, but the whole nation. The strength of our nation comes from God and the minds of our country. When the country's people are healthy, the nation is healthy. Assisting God in his works is the only way to accomplish his feat. With the help of leaders and citizens who strive for the same goal under the same God, the minds of our fellow Americans flourish when their leaders care and tend to them. One day, the Lord will gather his children whom he allowed us to plant the seed.